Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast, brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today, I got a special lady, Alba Saldana. How are you?
Hello, David. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, let's talk. Well, we know you're doing some great things out there. So, where are you at? What part of the country are you in?
So I'm here in Odessa, Texas.
Okay, Odessa, Midland, cover it all, right?
Yes, all the Permian Basin where the oil is.
Yeah. Well, in Texas, we call it Friday Night Lights. That's you go back 30,
Yes,
40 years,
yes,
that's it's big football country. So,
yes.
welcome to the show. So, I always like to talk about I know, but our audience didn't know. Um, how long have you been a realtor? How you got your start? Give us a little background about Alba.
So this is my seventh year in real estate. I've been in the U.S. for 14 years. I was a stay-home mom for about 5 years.
Okay.
Then decided that I wanted something different. I always like to be on the sales industry. So that's how I started. I started selling one stuff, and then one thing led to another one until I started selling manufactured homes. Then I decided to get my license, and that's really when my life changed.
Yeah, so you sold manufactured homes for I think a couple of years,
Yeah,
and you
two
decided,
years,
and
2 years, and
yeah,
yes,
and then
yes,
6 years ago you became a realtor. You got your license,
yes.
and you said, you know what, I want to be. What made you want to become a realtor for manufactured homes? Just natural progression, or
Yeah, well, it was very hard for me to see that when they wanted it to, just upgrade to another one, it was pretty hard, the resale, and they were just having a lot of issues. So I'm like, uh, they can do it. Let's buy a house. Let's try to go through that side. But you know what really motivated me? That's when we bought our first house. I was still doing manufacturing, and then I hired a realtor, and I really didn't understand the process. I really didn't feel that I knew what we were doing, even on the lending side. So it's when I decided, let's take this step and become a realtor. And that's when I started helping people and educate them. That's really my big thing, educate my community.
that's awesome. Well, I know that you're a first generation immigrant. Like you said, you came here to the United States
Yes.
14 years ago. From where?
From Chihuahua, Mexico.
Okay.
I always live all my life over there in Mexico. So imagine moving over here. I had to learn the culture, learn the language. First of all, I had to learn how to speak English. It was a challenge. It was a challenge, but I always knew that I wanted to do something different, not just be uh, another number, of immigrants that come to the U.S. and we don't grow. I
Yeah.
wanted to do something different. So that's when I really when I really understood my purpose, and that's what I've been working for.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. You came to the US 14 years ago, but then you were a stay-home mom for the majority of that. What made you decide to get out into the workforce and say, you know what, I want to spread my wings uh, and get to work? Has that always been an aspiration, or being a stay-at-home mom, that's a fulfilling job with, I think, how many kids do
Yes,
you have?
3 kids, and
Three
I
kids.
so
So yeah,
at that time when I started working, they were 9, uh, 3 and 2. So the two little ones are very close. So I just wanted it to put them on daycare, but we couldn't afford the daycare. So I'm like, I need to start working in order to afford the daycare. So that's really when I decided to go out so my kids could go to daycare. And I really didn't like to wake up at 4 in the morning to just have some lunch prep for my husband to go to work. That wasn't my goal in life. So that's why I decided I just wanted it to grow. I wanted it
yeah.
to feel that I belong here now, that I moved to the US, but I wanted it to feel that I belong to the city, that I'm part of it, that I can grow roots here. So it's when I started working, and I think I have done a pretty good job doing it myself for my kids, my family, and people that knows me.
Yeah, you've done a phenomenal job, and I don't want to open up old wounds or anything like that, but there's something very unique about you that you're a single mom now, right? You're
Yes,
you're
yes.
raising three kids on your own and building a very successful mortgage company. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the challenges of that.
So, of course, being Mexican, and I know a lot of people that are gonna see me there, they're gonna relate. It's pretty hard when you grow in the business. So then, you know, it's very hard to for the Mexican husbands to try to for them to be okay that I'm not at home anymore, that now I'm working, that I'm bringing money, that now I'm growing. That was a challenge for my marriage that we really couldn't make it work. I still have a great relationship with him, but I know that was the price for my growth. That
Right.
was the price. But you know something, what I'm teaching my girls, that we don't have to stay at home, that we can make it by ourselves. My son, when he sees me bringing being now the supporter of my family, uh I think it's when they're understanding, we're shifting that very Mexican cultural mindset that we had, that macho mindset. I'm getting rid of that. We're
I
being
love it.
successful women in the US.
Well, and it's not just successful women in the US. You're ingraining in your girls that they can be successful and they don't need anybody and they can do independent and do that themselves. So I
Yes,
commend you for that. That's awesome. Well,
yes,
let's fast forward to today. 6 years. You've actually increased your production every year in the last 6 years. How the heck are
yes.
you doing it in this crazy market? Because let's talk. I want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about kind of your target market and how what are you doing to attract all these people.
Let me tell you that I only advertise in Spanish. I found my niche and I love it. And I'm faithful to them how they are to me. I think once you do a good job for someone, they're going to refer you. So now it's all based on referrals, what I'm doing. I opened a team. I have a team. We're 5 agents now under my belt, and we're all bringing different type of buyers. You know, we all finding the niche. My niche, I
Which I
think
think
nobody wanted it, and I love it. I came in and saw
saw
this
this.
as an opportunity. Nobody wanted to help someone that doesn't know how to speak English, that they don't have bank accounts, that they don't trust the process because we don't know. In a lot of countries, they don't have mortgages. We're not educated on that. So that's really my niche, and that's where I focus. Finding these things that other people don't want to deal with them, because I think they feel that they're hard. For me, it's an opportunity, and that's where I focus. I see opportunities every day with new people that are coming to the US.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. And so I think we talked about this, 90 to 100% of your business is all Spanish, right? So you have a huge
Yes,
community in the Odessa Midland area. And obviously there's definitely a need for it. So,
yes, yes. I I go to the radio every Wednesday. I'm involved in a lot of community events. A lot of people already know me. I'm local. I go to the store and they already know me. They relate my face. I'm very heavy on Facebook. These new generations, they do Instagram, right?
right.
Remember, I'm that first generation. So Facebook, I'm faithful to Facebook, and now TikTok. So social media has really helped me a lot to grow, because I didn't have no friends from school. I see other realtors that they're selling to their schoolmates or people that they know, or I was from Mexico. I didn't know anyone. So social media really helped me to show my face, to have my face out there, and that's what I continue to do every single day.
So I know you're a team leader and you have five people underneath you, but you're also producing. You haven't stopped producing. You're never going
Oh
to
no,
stop producing.
no, I
Uh,
I
are
also
you,
produce.
so are you, and all your agents, are they Hispanic also? And are they going
Yes,
after the Hispanic community?
yes, they're all Hispanic. Um, I think only one of them is first generation. The other ones, they're already second generation. So as you can tell, my first language is Spanish. For them, it's not Spanish anymore. That's their secondary language. But I think that's what we're known for. Other
Yeah.
realtors, when they get a Spanish speaker, they will call us, hey, do you want to split it? I don't think I can help them correctly. So they know my team, where that's what we focus on. And we're already experts on that.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about that. So we're a mortgage company. I have a Spanish team. You have to,
You have to.
even though people are bilingual, can speak English and Spanish, it's the largest purchase of their life. They want to discuss it in their native tongue because what happens
Definitely,
is
you have to
some,
understand the terms that you're signing. You have to understand the process. And even when you know English, when they explain you all these big words on the lending side, people don't know. They don't understand. They just end up signing and not feeling comfortable. So I
yeah.
don't like that. That's why, like you say, you having that Spanish speaker uh side on your office, I mean, that's what really makes a difference on our community, because they're understanding, they're learning, and they're feeling comfortable with their purchase.
Well, and it's more than that. I'll share with you. With technology, one of the things we do now is we send an online application to our clients to fill out before we get my Spanish speakers. 100% of the time, we take the application over the phone and walk them through the process because they just, even though they're capable, they just don't want to do that. You gotta relate to them where they want to meet you. You know what? If the
Yes.
clients want you to meet face to face, you meet face to face. If the clients want to take the application on the phone, you take the application on the phone. I think that's a lot of misstep from lenders and realtors and stuff like that. And that's how they lose opportunities.
We have a little uh step steps to when we get a phone call from a new buyer. And one
Mhm.
of them is we bring them to the office. We try to bring them. There's people that they can't make it, but that's why we have an office. Our community, they want to see you one on one. And if
Right.
I'm gonna refer them to you as a lender, they already trust you because we invited them.
Right.
So working together, it's like, yes, you're the lender, but this is my face. They came to my office and I refer them to you. So we have to work as a team, because they're not gonna say, oh, I didn't like the lending side. It's all together. It's all together. So we like to take them to the office, bring them to the office, talk to them, explain them the process, explain them the contract, explain all the steps that they're going through. And I think that's when they learn and they understand exactly what they just did, bought a house.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about that. So I call it creative lending. A lot of people don't have checking accounts. A lot of people are self-employed. A lot of people they think they have to put 20% down. Now there's so much different stuff. So
Yes.
I know a lot of times, especially for us, we talk to people and they don't think they can get a mortgage because in Mexico, it's in their world, they just think, I have to rent for the rest of my life. And then all of a sudden they come
Yes.
here and realize it's a completely different country.
Yes.
I have the ability
Yes.
to build wealth. And that's something that you teach them is wealth building through real estate.
Yes. We have a class every quarter of the year. It's different stuff. Of course, the buyer seminar for them how to buy. We're also talking about um, the wheels. What's going to happen if you pass away and you bought a house, but you don't have no family here. All your family's in Mexico. We are educating our community again on a bunch of different subjects. So it's not just talking about real estate or lending. You end up helping on you give advices on other things, and that's how you build a community. All my videos are not just buy a house from me, buy a house from me. No, let me see how I can help you. Let me bring something to the table, something different for you. Let me let me show you how to feel part of the community, and owning a property that's going to take you there faster, than anything else. That, like I said before, you're going to start really planting roots in the United States. First, you need to make them believe that they deserve it. That's the first thing. We deserve a house. We deserve to live better. So once you put that little seed on their head, everything else is easy.
Well, let's talk about that. So what life experience have shaped you to where you're at? How are you such a go-getter? Were you always like this as a child? Did your parents raise you to be independent? Where does this come from?
I think a lot of people are going to relate to me when you come to another country. Sometimes you have no choice. When I mean, if you want to be successful, I didn't have no choice. I just knew I had to go get my own stuff because nobody's going to come and give it to you. No one's going to come and give you anything. So I decided myself to go get my dreams, go find my dreams, and go get them every single day. That's how I wake up every single day, living on the dreams that I wanted it. And I'm very grateful every time that I enjoy something. I'm like, this is what I wanted it 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. This is what I asked for. This is exactly what I wanted it. So every morning I wake up and I remind myself, you're here. There's a new opportunity every single day. We need to be grateful, but we need to go for it. Nobody's going to give it to you.
So I love that you said that. So where you're at today was what you dreamed about 5 years ago, with all the
Yes.
stresses and all the emotions and all the. So let's roll into so how do you define success? What do you think has been your biggest success so far? In
Uh, when I see my girls, and I have one that is going to turn 20 years, when I see her being successful, going to school, being economic independent, having that independence money wise, knowing that she's going to buy her first house next year at 21 already, that's when I'm like, thank you, God. I'm doing the things how I wanted it. We're going on the right path. Just this lifestyle that we can afford now, it's it's what really makes me believe that what I'm doing is correct.
That's awesome. So I would definitely say that's how you define success is having great kids. Um,
Yes.
you know, a friend of mine, I have two kids of my own, and a friend of mine always reminds me when I could say, "Hey, should I do this or should I do that for them?" Or it costs money, or it does this. He always reminds me, if you fail at raising your kids, what else in life really matters? That's from Jackie Onassis Kennedy. So I take that quote and really live by it.
Yes. Yes. I think that's really my biggest success, seeing them every single day, how and something, this is now their normal. What it was, I remember when I came as a child to the US, and I went to trick or treating for Halloween. And you see these houses that they were giving away the candies. You were like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty, the houses and everything. Now we can give candies. Now, yes. So I was just telling my kids the other day, before we couldn't, now we can. So let's share. Let's share what we have with our community, with more people. And that happened this Halloween. I was just sitting there in my porch, giving away candies, and I'm like, God, I'm so blessed. Thank you for everything.
That's so awesome, Alba. Well, thus far, during your professional career as a realtor, what's the one achievement or moment that really stands out for you? What's that one transaction that can you think of one in the beginning that said, this is
Yes,
why I'm a realtor.
yes,
This is why.
yes, 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 yes. Um, I had a wife call me. She called me. She heard me on the radio, and she called me like, I just want to ask you a question. I don't think we can buy, but let's see. We just want a little bitty house, 2 bedrooms. They had 4 kids.
Oh, wow.
They were living on an RV. And I talked to them. I talked to the husband. The husband was like, "No, we just want something simple. I don't think we can live on these new communities." They felt they just didn't deserve it. We got them approved. They ended up buying a brand new construction 2-story house with 5 bedrooms. And I he thought he didn't deserve that house. He thought he couldn't afford that house. And I'm like, sir, you work every single day. Your kids, you deserve it. Your family, everything that you're doing, you deserve it. So imagine moving from an RV to a big of a house, comfortably making the payments. They had their money saved for the down payment. That really hit me, that there's a lot of people out there that they don't know they can buy a house. They don't know. They thought, I'm gonna have to live in something small for the rest of my life, or in an RV. That's how they felt before. So that really touched my heart. And it's like, I have to do it every single day. I have to put my word out there every single day that us as immigrants, we deserve to live better.
Absolutely. I love it. So as we sit here, it's May the 2nd, first weekend of May. You're super busy. Rates are going crazy, tariffs and all that stuff, but you are busy. Uh,
Yes.
what, what's the plan for 2025? Anything?
Well, I'm trying to uh, get more sellers than buyers. So I'm focusing on that. All my buyers, now that I have the team well structured, we're splitting them. So my goal is to get more buyers because I have more help. So I'm planning on probably producing twice than what we produced last year because now we're more capable. We have more tools. We have you as a lender. We have great
That's
lenders that
right.
we're partnered up with, and that's going to make our job easier.
And how do you target buyers? Is there a plan or, I mean, I'm sorry, how do you
Again,
target
probably
sellers?
I think that's the majority of my clientele, they're buyers.
Yep.
I don't know if it's because of my story. I don't know if it's because they feel related to me, how I thought I could. I mean, I paid rent for 6 years before we purchased our first house.
Yeah.
I remember my ex-husband wanted to save the money to buy it cash because we didn't know we could ask for a mortgage loan. And then we thought we needed a lot of money for down payment. So that's my mantra every single day. All my videos, everything is just, let me teach you. No, you don't need that. No, you need less money. Hey, there's some programs of down payment assistance if you need it.
Yes.
I put out there a bunch of information. So people are like, oh, then I can buy. Then just let me call her.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. People don't understand this, but there's programs where you can basically walk in with zero down. We have two
Yes.
programs. One is a down payment assistance program that will pay up to 5% of the loan amount, and the other is 100% financing with FHA. 100%. That means that you
Imagine. I
basically,
mean, you don't have a house because you don't want to.
yeah, exactly. It's a choice.
And
So, but they just don't.
the opportunities out there for everyone. They just have to know it. And nobody takes the time to put this information out there. I take the time. That's why I'm successful, because I take the time to bring good news.
You do take the time to bring good news. Well, Alba, I could sit here and talk to you all day, but I know you're busy. I'm taking up a lot of your time. That's that. I mean, it's Friday, so this is your Monday. The weekend's
Yes.
starting.
Yes.
You got to get ready to go start showing houses and getting your
Yes.
clientele ready. What should we have talked about that we didn't talk about today?
Uh, no, I don't think there's nothing that we're leaving out of here. I just have something to say. Um, for any other realtors that are out there looking at this podcast, you have to believe it first. You. I started to believe that I was the best agent on the Permian Basin. I started to believe that I'm the number one, that any Spanish speaker, they're gonna have my name in their head. When I believe it, everybody else believed.
That's right. That's
Yes.
awesome. Well, Alba, if the people want to find you to use you as a realtor, and I know they do, how they get hold of you?
Me a call. That's the easiest way. I always answer my phone. That's another thing that I think it's been a part of my success. I always answer my phone. And I'm going to share it with you. It's 432-530-1473. 432-530-1473. You can find me on Facebook, Alba Estrada Realtor. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Alba Estrada Realtor. And of course, you can follow Casabella Group. That's the name of my team name.
And if you're watching this live, folks, you saw that go across the lower thirds. I know this. If I'm looking for real estate in the Odessa Permian area, I'm on calling only one lady. That's Alba.
Call me.
Yeah, she's the real deal. She's gonna make you, yeah, find that property or list that property that you really want out there. She knows the area,
Yes.
and with her passion for real estate, definitely call her. Call her. Anyways, I'm David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next time. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.